Here's the strange thing about hamstrings. The tighter the feel, the more we stretch them. And the tighter they feel, we've stretched for months with no change. We feel loose for about 10 minutes and then it's back. Sometimes the stretch actually makes them feel worse. In this video, we're going to explain why hamstrings feel tight even when they're not actually short, and what we can do instead to make lasting change. The same approach we use in out-of-the-box rehab. After years of working with people who swear their hamstrings are like concrete, we've learned that tightness is rarely a hamstring issue at all. This will sound familiar. We try to touch our toes, yet our hamstrings feel like steel cables. We stretch, feel great for a moment. We stand up and seize right back. Sometimes someone says hamstrings are tight. We believe them. Someone says they're weak. We try to strengthen them, yet they're still tight. It's frustrating and confusing. The big truth most people never hear: hamstrings often aren't tight, they're being protective. Tightness is a signal, not a diagnosis. This happens when the pelvis is perhaps stuck in one position, the rib cage isn't moving, the hips aren't doing their job, we load one side more than the other. The nervous system doesn't quite feel safe when we bend forward, so the hamstrings tighten up to help us feel more stable. They're gripping because something else isn't doing its job. In simple terms, the hamstrings are working overtime, not because they're short, but because they're on guard. This is why stretching doesn't stick. We're stretching the symptom, not the reason. So what actually improves hamstring tightness? Rather than just stretching, we need to focus on 3 things that help consistently loosen hamstrings without touching them directly. So number 1, it's the pelvis. And sometimes we might hear the word the pelvis is stuck in one position. Usually it could be tipped forwards. The hamstrings hold constant tension. It's not the fact that the pelvis is stuck, the fact that the pelvis hasn't got any more ability to move in any direction, so it stays still. And that holds tension. So if we can help the pelvis create some more freedom by gently moving it from side to side and moving it forwards and backwards, that slows down the weight transfer that goes into the hamstring. And that small tilt becomes motions and movement rather than just having one option. It's not extreme. It's just showing that if the body has more movement and more choices, it's less likely to brace. And if it's less likely to brace, the hamstrings will feel looser. Number 2, wake up the hips, not the hamstrings. Hamstrings tighten when the hips don't move well. So we need to use movement that explores rotation of the pelvis, side-to-side movements of the hips, and increase tiny bits of controlled range of movement in the pelvis and the hips. When we take this approach, some of the workload that would normally go to the hamstrings stops going there, which then makes them feel looser. Number 3, teach the body it's safe to bend. This is the missing piece. Most people bend by rounding the back and snapping the hips. So this braces hard for the hamstrings. Instead, we need to break the bend down into small parts. So if we slightly soften the knees, we have a small hinge from the hips, and we control the lower back movement down, gently reaching as far as we can go. That teaches the nervous system this movement is safe and it can let go. The hamstrings relax on their own and our tightness reduces for good. Once the pelvis moves better, once the hips rotate again, once the body learns to trust bending, the hamstrings no longer need to grip for stability. This is why people in out-of-the-box rehab often say, "My hamstrings feel longer, but I've never stretched them. My forward bend changed in just a few weeks. My legs feel lighter, like I'm not fighting them anymore." Because the change doesn't come from stretching, it comes from giving the body more movement options. Tightness is a protective pattern, and protection can change. So if your hamstrings have been tight for months, years, or even decades, and stretching hasn't changed a thing, this is exactly the kind of issue we help people work through inside Out of the Box Rehab. We use assessments, weekly lessons, and simple guided movements to help the body feel safe again, which is when real change happens. If you want to explore that with us, the link is in below, no pressure. Our hamstrings are not the enemy. They're not failing us, they've been on guard for too long. If you want to find that missing culprit, this video on screen might help you find the missing piece.